Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your December 29th, 2020 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be linked and listed in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from your body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as you enter into this safe and loving space. All right. Let's let the bulls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Libra. How will Libra be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Fantastic. And let's see your chakra energy for this time. Libra. How will Libra be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Ooh, goodness. And show me clearly. Okay. So 5. How intense. All right. So let's see. We're starting here with holistic health. First, embracing your holistic self, and then embracing a way forward in health and in harmony with your body. And we'll see how this all relates to the tarot. This is the root chakra. And then we have the third eye chakra with clarity. Mother Earth with the Earth Star chakra, located 6 inches below your feet. Then we have Soul's Healing, the Soul Star chakra, located 6 inches above your crown. And finally, we have Self-Mastery, the Solar Plexus chakra. So the left-hand side is your inner self. The middle is your heart, your emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So we start off with the messenger of water. This is the Knight of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, very much connecting you with this full moon in Cancer on the 29th of December. You have the Two of Cups, the Five of Air, and the 10 of Cups, which is awesome. The Five of Swords is the Five of Air. Brilliant. You then have the 10 of Swords, the 8 of Wands, the 6 of Cups, and the Moon card right here with your heart. So your heart is very affected by the moon during this time, and there's very much a sense of release, of empowerment, of emboldenment. There is a sense here with Pisces energy coming through with the Moon card. So the moon represents Pisces in the major arcana. So this is a time frame of February 19th to March 20th. But here there is a sense of there's a release. There's a release of something that has held you back. And there's a sense of things moving forward rather quickly with this moon and with this empowerment and this way of seeing things. You then have the Three of Wands, the Three of Air, so the Three of Swords. So divinity is walking with you. You have the Magician. Oh, I love that. And you have the King of Water, the King of Cups right here. So you have the Magician and the King of Cups. So definitely this full moon in Cancer is almost exactly what you're needing. And you're going to think that's so odd because it is such a sensitive moon here. So we start off with your chakra energy. And we start off with holistic health because there is a sense of getting back into the natural rhythm of your body, of your soul, of yourself, of your heart, of the way that you move forward. And so here with the root chakra, you're looking at what you need, what your rooted self needs in order to be empowered, emboldened, in order to move forward in the life that you want and in the way that you need to, instead of saying, oh, well, this pain will always be here, or, oh, nobody can ever figure out what's wrong. There are going to be answers that are coming, and even if they sound so terribly odd, even if you're sitting there and you're like, well, how would that work? Just look at it. Just look at it, and look at it from a very healing point of view. If you're getting in your head, like, drink more water, and you're sitting there, you're like, I don't want to go to the bathroom every 5 seconds. I know it's a bit odd to say, but your body is telling you, I need more water in me. And so here, if you drink more water, you can find that you start feeling better, that there's more energy to you, all right? And then as you drink more, you're going to find that you're not running to go to the restroom every 5 seconds, right? So here, because your body is like a sponge, and it becomes hydrated and it starts to take in what it needs. And so this is going to be for many different things. I know with my stomach for, oh my gosh, almost as long as I can remember, has always been really, 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 really bad. And nobody ever knew what was wrong with it. And then taking this natural approach and cutting out, of all things, wheat from the diet just became life-changing. And it changed everything. It changed how I was able to breathe. It changed how I was able to have my life. And I got my life back. And so here, there is the sense of doing something that maybe people aren't seeing, but that gives you your life back in a very real and very powerful way. And it brings you then to the clarity, because it takes the pain fog off of your mind. It takes the hurt, the pain, the disappointment, and it starts moving you forward because you're healing yourself, and you're also being your holistic self. You're being your authentic self. And that brings you clarity. It opens up your third eye. And it's like, oh, this is where I choose to stand and how I choose to stand within my life. And it brings you to Mother Earth. It brings you to your rooted self. And it also brings you to saying, well, Mother Earth isn't always caring and nurturing and beautiful and kind. Mother Earth is also tornadoes and snowstorms and, hurricanes and blizzards and all those things. So I can embrace the fierceness as well as the love, the joy, and the greater understanding. And so here with the Earth Star Chakra, you're making that your rooted self. You're rooting yourself in the fact of, I can be more than maybe just what people expect me to be, or what I think being quote unquote good is supposed to be. You're never supposed to get angry. You're never supposed to get frustrated. And that's just not the case. The anger and the frustration, it fuels us forward. It's like, well, if I'm not frustrated, why the heck would I change? Type of thing. And you're going to see yourself moving forward. And you have here then the Soul Star Chakra, which you have the healing coming in. And it starts to release you of a lot of the pain and a lot of the doubts and a lot of the fears that you have been holding, which it kind of washes over you. It's kind of like a really warm shower or snuggling into a really cozy cozy blanket with a nice cup of tea or cocoa or coffee. And so here then you have self-mastery. It's like as this healing energy comes over you, and it's because you're embracing your holistic self. You're looking at things from a natural point of view instead of a not in line with your body point of view. Instead of almost viewing it as like a separate entity. It's like, no, what is my soul saying? What do I need to focus on? Who am I? What is it that drives me forward? And then you have this self-mastery. You have the sense of falling into alignment with yourself, and the sense of listening to your gut and listening to your instincts. And that's also going to really empower you as you move forward. And it brings you to the full moon in Cancer, which has us, here during this time surrendering to the divine. And this is a time where life comes full circle, because the full moon of 2020, the first full moon of 2020, was the full moon in Cancer. And now we're ending this most extraordinary of years with the full moon in Cancer. And we've come full circle, and we've gained understandings, we've gained insights that was hard for us to find maybe before, or that, got ripped out of us at times. And here, it's especially from the past. It's like, I have learned so much, and this is what you're going to be saying to yourself, either now or, down the road a piece in the Pisces time frame, where you're going to be looking back at this time and being like, I have learned so much, and I have seen so much. And now there is an empowerment to me. Now there is a power to me as I move forward. And it is a reaching a place where the personal issues that we are carrying like weights around our necks, get to be resolved. Because this is a time of the sacred feminine, and this is a time of embracing what is emotionally so powerful to us, our family, our friends, the people that we make in our lives that are like family. And even if we can't be with them, it's being able to talk with them. It's being able to connect. It's our emotional well-being. It's the nurturing of our souls and of ourselves. And because the moon is in its sign of Cancer, okay, in astrology, the Cancer represents the Cancer. The moon represents Cancer. So Cancer is in its sign. So here, the moon is saying, I'm home. I'm home. And Cancer is saying, I'm home. And there's a part of you that's saying, I'm home. Within myself, within my soul, within who it is that I am, and how it is that I'm supposed to be moving forward, and where it is that I'm supposed to be. This is my home. Whether you kind of rail against that a little bit, or whether you look at it and say, okay, I respect this. You start to trust your instincts. You start to trust your intuition. You start to absorb and acquire the knowledge that you need to be able to move forward as you reach out for what it is that you truly desire within your heart, within your soul, within yourself. But as you reach out, you're also going to find it to be much easier during this time to reach out to others than to reach out to yourself. So just be mindful of that. You're going to find it easier to deal with others than to deal with what you need personally and powerfully. And so emotions run high at times, and it is important to be aware that what you're feeling isn't wrong, and not to bury down the emotions, because this is a time, and we see this right here, where it's kind of like where the magic starts with the Five of Swords and the Six of Cups and then the Magician. If you bury it away, it will still come up. It's kind of like trying to outrun your shadow. So here, it's like looking at things and looking at the past and looking at the future and looking at what you desire. You're coming to a completion of a cycle most profoundly within your heart, within your soul, within yourself. And it's going to be moving you forward to the sense of empowerment, to the sense of greatness. But there is going to be a real sense here, Libra, where you can be very nostalgic for things. And that can lead to a real sense of melancholy. There's also just a sense of melancholy being around you during this time. So that's going to be something to be aware of, especially if you're, in a colder climate, and now, the days are short and the sun isn't out as much. So here, just be mindful of how you are moving forward and where it is that you want to be. And it brings you to the 13th of January. It brings you to a new start coming. It brings you to this place where you really start to see your hard work paying off. And that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants to know that what they're doing isn't in vain. Everybody wants to know that what they sacrifice for and what they give isn't for nothing. And you're going to start to see, around the 13th of January, you're going to start to see your hard work paying off, of you being able to move forward, of you looking at things more openly, more honestly, more truthfully for yourself. And it brings you to a new start. It brings you to a new way of looking at things, a new way of defining yourself. You're kind of breaking down barriers during this time, which is really rather cool. And now on the 28th of January, we enter into the full moon in Leo. And this says, do not let pride get in the way. So don't sit there and think, I'm going to show everybody by doing what everybody thinks success is and being like absolutely great at it, but being miserable on the inside. It's not letting, that statement, pride cometh before the fall. It's not saying, well, I'll show everyone. It's saying, I'll walk in my truth. And I know that's so easy to say, and it's so stinking hard to do, especially when there are struggles, especially when you're not sure if you'll be accepted, and everything comes up. You're looking at things here, and it's like, take the ego, take the pride, and acknowledge it, because it needs to be acknowledged. That's what ego needs to be. But move forward. Move forward and look at your truth and say, well, what if everybody laughs at me? But if I'm secure and I'm safe, who cares? What if nobody understands? Well, that's fine. But if I'm finally able to breathe, then who cares? And it's not saying who cares. It's not like turning your back on people who truly love you and care for you. But it's saying, I move forward. I move forward in my truth, and I move forward in my power, and I move forward in my understanding. And the pride. And it's also the pride of like people having to understand right now. Maybe give them time. Maybe they'll come around to it. But there is a sense here of a detachment from the ego, because the ego can become astoundingly powerful during this time. And it moves you to the spirit animals of December. And I know we only have 3 days in December, but there's this beautiful juxtaposition of spirit animals during this month. And so with December, we have the owl spirit and we have the horse spirit, which of course you can see right here. The owl spirit says, you see clearly now. And the horse spirit says, freedom is yours. But what's so beautiful about both these spirit animals is the owl spirit really does embody the high priestess in the tarot. And the horse spirit can really embody the magician. Yeah, with the sacred masculine energy, or any of the cards that really represent the sacred masculine. But here for you, it will be the magician. And so here you have the sacred feminine and you have the sacred masculine coming forward. And the horse spirit is the driving force. So it says freedom is yours. And this is your driving force during this time. You don't want to be held back. You don't want to be caged. You don't want to be denied. You want to push forward. And it almost feels like you don't want to be denied everything or anything. So it's kind of like, when you can eat a whole bar of chocolate and you're like, I got this bar of chocolate. I'm super hungry. I'm going to eat it all. And then you don't feel good afterwards. Just be mindful of how much you indulge in something that starts off as a really good thing and then can become a little bit too much. It can just become too much. So here, what you are thriving on, what you want within your life, you're bringing forward. And you're seeing the balance between your wild side and your instinctual side and your tame side. And as you look at this, you are looking at your strong emotions. You're saying, well, there is the side of me that can embrace chaos. But as you have the Earth Star Chakra here, as you have Mother Earth, as you have the sense of chaos being a part of you and coming to terms with that chaos, as all human beings have to, you then find yourself moving forward in this strong and powerful energy of the horse and saying, you know what, it's time for me to run free, and it's time for me to embrace my sexual energy and to be able to expand in what I desire personally, mentally, sexually, discovering all the aspects of myself and not denying any single one of them. It's not, becoming irresponsible, but it is understanding the multifaceted different layers of yourself. And as you do so, you are going to see that the sacred masculine walks and steps forward within your life. And with the owl spirit, it says here, you see clearly now. You do see clearly because your intuition is off the chart. And it's, amplified by the Cancer full moon. So that makes it even more intense. And it's going to be intense for everyone. So know that everybody's seeing their truth so much more crystallinely, so much more clearly than before. And it can feel like everybody's kind of reading from the same book, but every single book is in different languages. So nobody knows what everybody else is saying. So at times it can be very frustrating because people will see so clearly for themselves and you will see so clearly for yourself. And it almost feels like things can be missing at times. And so as you see what others can't, and as you move forward, you're embracing a change. You're embracing a change towards this divinic, is that even a word? This divine power of yourself. And you're seeing beyond the deceits, beyond the masks, beyond the, kind of way that people want you to see them. And you're seeing who it is that you truly are and who it is that people are around you. And you're embracing your power forward and the power for change, which brings you with the owl spirit to a time of seeing the shadows and of facing the shadows, which is what the moon is having us do. The moon always has us face the shadows as we surrender to the divine. And as you face the shadows, you find wisdom in silence. You find wisdom in in solitude. And it is time to hold on to your truth, but it's also time to no longer, and it's also time to call yourself out on the lies and no longer, sit there and say, kind of the grass is always greener on the other side. It's like, this is who I am. This is what I have. I am embracing my spiritual prosperity and my spiritual life, and I'm embracing the essence of me. And as you do so, you move from then the powerful owl spirit that now has been with you for 2 months, and you move into the grounding, stabilizing force of the bear spirit. And it's the seeds that you are planting within your heart. And here it says, take time out. Take time out to ground yourself in strength and to challenge what you feel confident in, to sit there and push the barrier just a bit and a bit more. And then as you do so, you are embracing this sense of healing, this sense of, finding solace in truth through solitude, through meditation, through rest, through a communion with your soul and yourself. And it brings you to being a defender of your heart in an astoundingly powerful way. It brings you to sitting there and looking at things and saying, I am finding inspiration in the most quiet and the most, overlooked of spaces. And now I can move forward. And now I can embrace what it is that I need and what it is that I want. And I can fight for my heart, my soul, and the very essence of myself. And it brings you to the Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups says, love guides me, love heals me, and I can move forward in the love and in the beauty that is me. So here you have the Knight of Water. You have yourself fighting for your heart's truth. You have yourself standing in your heart's truth, saying, I'm strong and I am powerful and I am, purposefully moving forward. And then you have the Two of Water saying, the Two of Cups saying, I'm healing. I am healing and I am finding this healing beauty and this gracious love within my life. And it has you looking at the issues and the upsets and the upheavals that have held you back. It has you looking at things that you face time and time again within your life. And these are life lessons. And sometimes, our life lessons are funny because sometimes we sit there and we hope for the best, right? We wish for something beautiful. And we all have the fairy tales that we built around ourselves when we were small, And here, there is this sense of sometimes the biggest lessons that we have to learn are the deaths of the most beautiful dreams. And I know that sounds so terrible, and especially, during the holiday seasons, like happy holidays. But no, so here, I don't mean that to be bad. Not at all. That's not what Spirit is showing me at all. It is just kind of always wanted things to be perfect. But things are never perfect because they involve human beings and they involve other beings. And it's never going to go exactly the way that you had wanted it to. And there is this deep wish. It's kind of like, if I can just, and especially for you, Libra, it's like, if I can just keep everything quiet and calm and balanced and beautiful, everything will be okay. And the fact of the matter is that's not true. And that can be one of the most profound lessons to learn in our lives. So it's kind of like, well, I want to open this door, and this person's being really, really nice, and maybe I should. But it's also like, remember what they showed you before. Remember why that door was closed. Don't be taken in because you're a nice person. And so here with the Five of Swords, it's looking at those situations that we get into time and time again in our lives. And they can be generational curses that are put on us. The generational curse could be, and I know it sounds so funny, but it could be that your family's just nice. You were always taught to be nice, to be good, give the shirt off your back type of thing. But it's like they have to earn it. They have to earn it. If you're nice to people who are cruel, that's not okay. But if you stand in your truth and you stand in your worth and you sit there and you say, I can be nice up to a point, but that point is here. This is the line, this is where I will not cross, and this is how I'm moving forward in my life. That becomes invaluable. And it can be that you're looking at things and it's like you're seeing these invaluable lessons coming forward. And that's what brings you with the third eye chakra. That's what brings you to that clarity, to that opening up of the eyes. And it moves you. It moves you right here to the Ten of Cups. It moves you to, and they all live happily ever after. It moves you to a much better, happier, joyous, beautiful place. It's like, this is what I wanted. I didn't want everything else. I wanted the beauty. I wanted the harmony. I wanted the love. I wanted the brilliance. And I had to make it in myself first. And I had to not keep on thinking, wow, if I just love hard enough, if I just am nice enough, they'll change. They may never change. It might not be in their cards, to change. They are who they are. You are who you are. The lessons that we learn in this life, they're never easy. The ones that stick, the ones that shape us, the ones that sculpt us forward, they're never easy. But they are powerful. And they are profound. And it brings you here to the heart. It is crowned by the 10 of Swords. Each year, each time, another sword stabbed in, another sense of, I don't know if I can move forward this way, and I don't know if I'm doing things right, and I've never learned anything, or I don't know things, and it's like this fear that comes over. And then you step back, and you look at how you've lived, okay? You look at the time on this earth that you stood here, and you're still standing here. Okay, so first of all, bravo. And look at the lessons that you have learned. So a lot of times we sit there and we go, well, I got nothing out of that except, to learn, never to trust this person again, or to learn that I'm just, a failure, and we take it and we put it on ourselves. It's like, no. Look at the lesson that you learned. Look at the power that you have. Look at the brilliance that is you. And move forward in that truth. Move forward in that great expanse of self. And rise. Rise to new heights. Let go. Let go of what no longer fits and what hasn't fit for quite some time. And it's seeing the wealth of knowledge that you have because of how you've been sculpted forward. And your heart is saying, well, I don't know. I don't know if this is knowledge, if this is truth, if this is, what I need. And your mind and your heart need to come together, as minds and hearts need to do. And your emotional self needs to look at your logical self, and your logical self needs to honor your emotional self and say, look how far we've come. This is the darkness before the dawn. This is the time before the stepping into the truth and into the power and into the brilliance and into the understanding. And once you see that shift in consciousness, once you see that shift of mind, it brings you to the 8 of Wands. It brings you to change. It brings you to power. It brings you to passion. It brings you to ready or not, and here it comes. And it's like, wow, I didn't think. And it brings you to this sense of power and beauty and brilliance and understanding. It brings you to a sense of things changing, and your heart has been longing for a change. It may not be the change that you exactly wanted. You could have thought, I thought we moved past this, and what the heck is going on? But it moves you forward in a powerful, gracious, beautiful way. And it's like, okay, divinity is taking the reins as you heal, as you embrace what it is that you love. And that's, oh my gosh, look at that. I didn't even notice. So you have the 2 of Cups, right? The 8 of Wands, and then you have the 3 of Swords. So you have this healing coming in. It moves you forward. Excuse me. And it has you facing heartbreaks, pains, and disappointments, despairs, despondencies, the degradation of our souls. It has us facing it. And so here, that's exactly what divinity is doing. Divinity is pushing you out of your comfort zone in a much nicer and gentler way than if this was the Tower, most definitely. But it does bring up pain, and it brings you to a place of nostalgia. It's kind of like things were better when. And it's like you're looking back, and it's like things were better when. And here's the thing. Each year that you have lived through, there has been a sword in the back. There has been a heartbreak, there has been a pain, there has been a disappointment, there has been an anger, there has been an upset, there has been despair. Things were never truly better. There could be less responsibilities, most definitely. But also, childhood is an interesting thing. There's a level of helplessness there, and there's a level also of everything that you go through being so extreme because it's the first time you've experienced anything. It's the first time, like when you first fall in love. It's the first time you've ever been in love. So it's all-encompassing. And so when we look back at things, we look back and we think, oh, wow, it was. But we forget. We forget the true impact of it and how it shaped us, how it scarred us, how it's, enlightened us, how it's loved us. And so here, Spirit is saying, don't look in the past because you will not find truth in the past. You will find building blocks, yes, and you will find truth in the past, but you need to be in the present. The past, we can live in our past. We can make it armor that we build around us. We can make it, see, you can't trust anybody. Look at your father, look at your mother, look at your, grandparents or whomever. You can sit there and you can see that. And we have those memories, most definitely. And so here it's not pulling that past into the present. That's why you're breaking that generational curse. That's why you're sitting there and saying, no, I'm done. I'm done. This is in my DNA, right? This has been spoken over me since I was little. The generational curse, you can break it down. You can break it down to the trauma and the drama within the DNA, okay? And that does get passed down scientifically. They've proven that it does impact people. Higher increase of anxiety and things like that, and more proclivity towards depression and everything. But it also is what you've learned. You know, what your parents spoke over you, or whomever raised you spoke over you when you were little. How were they broken? How did they share that brokenness with you? And so here, what you're looking at is you're changing the narrative of your life. You're looking at the past and you're saying, I'm moving forward in the power of my purpose. And as you do this, you face the fears, you face the heartbreaks, the pains, the disappointments, the angers, the upsets, the upheavals, the darkness, the monsters and the shadows. You face it and you say, I move forward in my love, in my joy, in my understanding. I need the shadows. The moon is the reflection of the sun's light. So the moon reflects to us in a way that can bring up, doubts and fears and negativity, what we have done during the day, or the fears of the day, but in a quieter way. And a lot of times we don't like quiet. We like loud, we like action, we like, being in the middle of everything. Quiet is hard. Quiet is going to be profoundly transformative for you. There is a sense of looking at what it is that you deeply love, what it is that you deeply want. A embrace of the soul and of the self and of the grace and of the beauty that is you. And it moves you. It moves you to looking at things, not in fear, but in love and trust. It's sitting there and saying, I understand fear. Fear is a survival mechanism. It kept my ancestors alive. We lived out, on plains longer than we have lived, the way that we do now, in the civilized way that we do now. And so here, what you are looking at is you are looking at the power, okay, of addressing fear, of seeing the way that you move forward, of looking at what it is that you desire. And it's looking at how our ancestors dealt with things. We had to be afraid of the dark. You didn't see as well. A lion could come and eat you. You could be stolen away by another clan, another tribe. You could, all these bad things could happen. That's not as common here now. And it's looking at the fear and it's saying, why am I always in fight or flight? Because our fears have changed. The way that people attack a lot of times has changed. It can be much more, over the internet. It can be much more, kind of not as aggressive. You wouldn't be hit over the head with a rock type of thing. And so here, it's looking at the way that you are changing, the way that you look at things. And instead of that fight or that flight, it's that sense of why? Why is this affecting me? It's the sense of why does this have me so angry? Why does this have me so overwhelmed? How do I move forward? How do I bring happy back into my life? And how do I let that reflective joy be a part of me? And it's moving forward with the Three of Fire, with the Three of Wands, to new horizons. In the public arena, you are moving forward to new horizons. Why? Because you're looking at this heartbreak, this pain, this disappointment that has defined you for too long and saying, you know what, not today. No more. No more am I being defined by the despair within my soul. No longer am I being defined by the ways that I have failed instead of the ways that I have succeeded. There's a new dawn. There's a new day for me. And now it is time to move forward in that understanding. I'm not going to define me by how broken I am. And we do this. I realize I do this all the time, It's like you apologize. You apologize. Oh, I'm so sorry, And then you state your reasons why I shouldn't expect so much. Or, you put your walls up. And it's like, stop apologizing for being you. You are perfect. I know perfect is this thing that we strive for that is absolutely unobtainable. But there is perfection within you. There is a spark of the divine within you. There is this beauty and this encompassing, light within you. It's time to start seeing it. And it's time to not let the hurt, the pain, the disappointment, the anger, the frustration become all that we see. Because it can ruin, it can poison everything. And so we look and we give honor to the pain, because the pain has shaped us in a profound way. The pain has been a part of us. And we give honor to that pain, and we let ourselves move forward in our truths. We let ourselves be who it is that we need to be, and say, yes, I know that I am broken, but here's the humdinger, everybody else is too. We don't see that because our pain is so much more real, because it's what we live with every single day. So nobody is perfect. and to move forward in confidence and saying, all right, I might be broken, but I'm still powerful and brilliantly me. And it moves you to the magician. It moves you to saying, as above, so below. As I think it, so it becomes. If I focus on the hurts, the pains, the disappointments, the past, I call that into my present. And I'm done. I'm done living in a way that somebody else wanted. I'm done living in a truth that somebody else created. The magician changes and transforms. And that's what you're doing. You're looking at your fundamental power. You're looking at your elemental power. Okay, the power of your passion, the power of your rooted self. Okay, how you grow and develop within your essence, within your soul. You're looking at the heart passion, okay, the heart power that is you, your emotion, your depth of love, your brilliance of being. And you're looking at your knowledge and the weapon that you can be, the way that you can wield your mind to move you forward. And it's astounding. There is an astounding brilliance here that you are embracing as you stand before the altar of your existence and say, as above, so below. As I think it, so it becomes. As I believe it, so it is. As I embrace it, so I am. And you are going to find that you can be whatever it is that you focus on. And it's not saying that if you're in a disparaging place, that the despair will just fall away. It is saying that I don't get to be ruled by it, and it doesn't get to have that power over me. And it brings you then to being a king. And I love the King of Cups. He's one of my favorite kings. I think he is my favorite king, because he sits there in joy and in happiness, which is what I most definitely strive for, and I know everybody else does. And he says, I'm only the king of me. I can't rule everybody, and I can't tell everybody else what to do. So he's the king of living by example. He is the king of simply himself. He says, I hold this cup to my lips. I hold this power to my heart. I embrace this truth. I let it flow through me. And it is with me as long as my heart beats. And then it is gone. And we tend to forget that. We don't forget that, and we kind of focus on that a little bit too much. But there is a sense here of this embracing the truth of ourselves, the power of ourselves, for as long as we have it, and absolutely moving in magnificence because of it. Absolute magnificence. And that's what you're seeing here. And he's, here's this king of the sea, and he's talking to this little fish right there. It's like, there is beauty here, and it's time to embrace it, because you are the king of yourself. You can't tell anybody else what to do. You can't make anybody else's decisions. You can't force anybody else to be happy or sad or in between. You simply have to embrace your heart, your truth, your soul, yourself. And that's it. That's all we can do. And that's where the magic lies. And people are most definitely in the public arena. I mean, they're most definitely taking note of you. So let's see what the moon has to say. How will Libra be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. All right. How will Libra be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. We have pleasure, assessing, gratitude, faith, meditation and contemplation. The answers you need are coming. take time to breathe out. The energy is gaining momentum. It's a time to give rather than to take. I like this. So I love this embrace of pleasure. We definitely see this with the coming together of the sacred feminine, the sacred masculine. The healing of the heart, the love, the passion, the being a defender of your heart's truth. This leads you to the pleasure. This leads you to seeking pleasure within your life. It can be sexual pleasure, it can be creative pleasure, it can be personal pleasure, it can be in a myriad of different ways. But there's a release to this pleasure, to this sense of this coming together, of this knowledge, of this greater understanding. And it brings you, especially within creation, within creating your way forward, creating what it is that you desire within life, creating who it is that you are and where it is that you want to be. We're constantly changing as people, and it's embracing that power. And so here you're assessing the pains that you have been through, you're assessing the situations that you have been through that have caused you upset, that make you think, oh my gosh, I'm here again. You know, I thought I had left this behind. And so you assess the situations and you see yourself. It's gratitude of grounding, okay? With the 10 of Cups. It's like, this is my happily ever after. It doesn't have to be picture perfect. You know, it isn't Cinderella. And even if it was a modern day Cinderella, maybe that wouldn't go so great, you know? So here you are seeing yourself moving forward in a gratitude and in a love of the life that you have and the person that you are and the people that are around you or the people who have helped form you, you know, in your journey, and just connecting with that space, holding space for those who you might not be able to be around right now or who might have passed, who you sit there and you say, I need you in my life again. You know, I need you to be with me. And even if it is just having a simple ritual of, you know, drinking a cup of tea at the end of the day and connecting, like that's what I do to connect with my grandparents that passed, because it's so important to me. And it's like grounding yourself in that connection of ritual, of that connection of the people who shaped you and the people who continue to shape you. Even though they're gone, they're not gone from you. They live on in your memory and in your heart and in yourself. And it's also the people on this earth today who ground you, who you can give thanks to, because this is opening up. This is your gratitude for the happiness and for the beauty that is coming forward within your life. And it brings you to having faith within yourself, having faith that the lessons that you have learned aren't for nothing and that you are moving forward. Because there is going to be a time where you sit there and you think, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get to where it is that I want to be. Oh no, you are. You need the quiet, Libra. You need the quiet, you need the meditation, you need the contemplation, but you have to be very mindful of not letting the melancholy come in as you do this, because it will be very easy to sit there in meditation and thinking of how it was better when, and you know what you could do to get the good old days back. And there's a sense here of needing to release, but also needing to embrace what it is that you liked about that time and how it is that you can slowly incorporate that back into your existence, back into yourself. Because the moon for you during this time is bringing you the answers. The answers you need are coming. And it's through the shadows, it's through the doubts, it's through the fear, it's through the seeing within the darkness that you move forward in the answers that you most greatly need. And it brings you then to needing time to breathe out as you see new horizons coming your way. And you also are dealing with the pain that has shaped you for too long. The negativity, the anger, the upset that becomes the stabbing in the back, becomes the vicious words that can't move you forward. So here, you're taking that time to breathe out, to reconnect with who you are and who you need to be and what it is that you desire, to check in with you and be like, am I okay? And for you to say yes or no, maybe I need a moment here. You know, maybe I need to go and just breathe for a moment, like go to the restroom and just kind of breathe, or, you know, meditate if you can, or go for a walk and sit there and reconnect. Because what you're finding here is that the energy is gaining momentum as you stand before the altar of your existence, as you stand in your power, and as you are the king of your heart and the king of this time, and you connect most graciously and greatly with the full moon in Cancer. You find that it is time to give rather than to take. And what this means is that it's time to give up the knowledge that is within you. And it feels like, okay, I should just be giving everything and not taking anything. It's like, no. It's time for you to realize that the knowledge that you have, the wisdom that you have, is sage-like, you know? And so now it is time to give up that wisdom instead of always taking other people's advice, always sitting there and thinking other people know better than you. It's not listening. Listening is going to be very, very important during this time. But it's not thinking that you don't have answers, because you most definitely do. Now, your subconscious Luna message for this time is boundaries, very important. A discernment, which is one of the things that you are born under, Libra. It is being discerning. It's like setting these boundaries and saying, I can't be just to everybody. I can't be what everybody needs all the time, but I can set these boundaries and I can know where I stand and people can know where I stand. So I have this consistency, which, you know what? People really like consistency. And then it brings you to the Scorpio, to the new moon in Scorpio, which says work through your fears. So you have the boundaries so that you can work through your fears, so that you can move yourself forward in the way that you need to. And it brings you then to your subconscious chakra message, which is listening. Listening to yourself, listening to what people are actually saying instead of what they think that they're saying, okay? It's kind of like getting to the heart of the matter of things. You will find that with the throat chakra, everybody thinks of the throat chakra as talking. The throat chakra is also the beauty of listening. And that's a lost art. Most people, they can talk and they can talk. And it's really funny because people can talk and say absolutely nothing. Here, it's listening. And it's listening and it's really diving deep. And if you need to practice the art of listening, listen to books on tape. You can find them free on YouTube. There are people who, do with older books and books. So here, it's practice listening because it's a forgotten art. Everybody is so busy talking, so busy tweeting, so busy, boiling everything down to just a few words to encapsulate so much. It's like, no, listen. Listen and you'll be surprised at the answers that come your way. You'll be surprised at the way you connect with divinity. You'll be surprised at the power that guides you forward. Your subconscious tarot message is the King of Earth. This connects you very strongly with the new moon in Capricorn on the 13th of January. And this is Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This is being the king of yourself on this earthly plane. Planting your feet, grounding yourself, saying this is who I am, this is where I need to be, this is how I need to move forward. Being practical, being sensible, but also being sensual and being luscious. It's like you're growing this beautiful fruit to nourish you spiritually, personally, and it's time to embrace that. It's time to be empowered by it. You walk the path of kings during this time. You do. You have a kingly energy around you. People take note of you. And there is a power that you are stepping into. All right, Libra. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we leave the past behind and step into the power of our now, the power of our purpose, the power of ourselves, and give with gratitude and with grace for the way divinity has shaped us and for the way that we are moving forward. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Libra, and may you have a blessed moon.